Hey everybody, thanks for watching The Great Green Room. My name is Julia. Today I'm going to be looking at Cinnamon, written by Neil Gaiman and illustrated by Divya Srinivasan. Cinnamon is the story of a princess in what is presumably India. Cinnamon is blind and mute, and her parents, the Raja and Rani, have offered a highly idiosyncratic reward to anyone who can get the princess to start to talk. So, tutors come and go, enjoy the presents, but are never able to get the princess to learn how to talk until a tiger wanders in and declares his intention to teach the Princess Cinnamon how to talk. The Raja and Rani don't want to let him do this, but he points out that it's very difficult to tell a tiger not to do something that he wants to do. So they give him the presents and send Cinnamon into the room and leave. So Cinnamon is alone with the tiger, and the tiger teaches her the meaning of pain by scratching her hand. He teaches her the meaning of fear by roaring really loudly. And he teaches her the meaning of love by licking her face. And at the end of this lesson, Cinnamon has learned how to talk. So the next day they go to the Raja and Rani to tell them the good news. And at one point, the Rani's aunt over here is being really annoying, so the tiger eats her. So that happens. And everyone is extremely happy until Cinnamon declares her intention to go into the forest with the tiger and continue learning from him. And the Raja and Rani don't want to let her do this, but she points out that it's very difficult to keep a tiger from doing whatever he wants to do. So they see the wisdom in this and let her go, and give all of the reward presents to the villagers, and Cinnamon goes off into the jungle with the tiger. The end. So Neil Gaiman, if you are not familiar with his books, he is an extremely prolific fantasy author. He's primarily known for his chapter books for adults, but he also writes chapter books for children. This is not his first picture book. He's written comic books, screenplays, you name the format, he's probably written for it. And I'm familiar enough with his stuff to where if for some reason I didn't know who had written this and you had said to me, quick, what famous author wrote this book? I would probably have been able to guess that it was Neil Gaiman, because there's these little, like, darkly humorous asides all over this book that are 100% pure Neil Gaiman. Like, for instance, the way the Rani's aunt gets eaten by the tiger. This is how it's described. Can no one get that woman to stop talking? Asked the Raja of the room. Easier to stop him than to start him, said the tiger, and he dealt with the matter. And that's how you know that the Rani's aunt gets eaten. And then earlier, let me find it, excuse me. When they take Cinnamon to see the tiger, the parrot squawks this little poem. There was a young lady from Riga who went for a ride on a tiger. They came back from the ride with a lady inside and a smile on the face of the tiger. So that's what the parrot says. And then the author gives a little aside. Although, in the interest of historical and literary accuracy, I am obliged to point out here that the parrot actually quoted another poem, much older and a little longer, with ultimately a similar message. So these sorts of things are pure Neil Gaiman. It's all over this book, those little touches. And also, just to continue on from here, as you can probably see, the illustrations are just gorgeous. All of the backgrounds, all of the clothing, the character design, it's all just beautiful. It's really, really, really fun to look at this book, because every time you look at a double-page spread, you find something else interesting or beautiful to look at. So that is very impressive. And all of this together, all of these good points sort of almost obscure the fact that the story is actually bad. I don't mean that the content is offensive or anything like that. It's not. The story doesn't really make sense. There are all of these folktale-esque plot points that are all good and interesting. Like, these plot points are interesting, and yes, this book is long enough to have plot points. But they don't hang together cohesively. Like, what does this tiger care about Cinnamon? Why is he here? What does he care about this human girl? Why has Cinnamon really never felt pain or fear or love? Because her parents clearly love her. And I don't know why these particular things would make her talk when she never has before. And then it just kind of ends abruptly with her walking into the forest with this tiger.
With her tiger.
And that's the whole story. The story just doesn't hang together. It doesn't really make sense. It feels like it wants to be folklore, but it isn't really. And on the whole, I find myself in this awkward position once again of disliking this book by a famous author. However, I did really like the illustrations, so I'm going to go ahead and give Cinnamon by Neil Gaiman and Divya Srinivasan a 3. If you see it at the library, go ahead and check it out, but I wouldn't seek it out. And I wouldn't seek it out myself. As always, I want to hear about books that you've read, that you liked, that you didn't like. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.